we are, guys. The map is Atlantis Spaceship, as I did just mention, and at the top part of it in the yellow is the last hope for Team Liquid and fans of foreign teams everywhere. It is none other than Liquid TaeJa.
A Korean player.
A Korean player on a foreign team. And down to the bottom left part of the map, stop, you don't need to tell them that. Down the bottom left, we have our red Zerg player from StarTale. It is none other than Curious.
I just thought it was funny. I was reading some of the r/StarCraft threads, and people were saying, "Oh yes, the last foreigner hope, fighting," and everyone's like, "Wait a second, Korean players have won like 90% of their games
well, you know
during
what?
this tournament."
Foreigners helped. They helped today.
They did.
Yeah.
Chef winning a 55-minute game against Ace certainly
there
helps.
You go. Yep. We didn't see Xenio.
That's right. Yeah,
yep.
he can't. I mean, TaeJa is Liquid's last player. If he goes down, Liquid is eliminated. So
exactly. So, How about that? I don't know. I don't know. So now TaeJa did just take out a Zerg player, and he took him out pretty convincingly too.
Yes,
now
he did.
I feel like there's a couple things that Life could have done a little bit better in that game, obviously, but you know, all in all, it was a very solid game from Liquid TaeJa. So we're probably going to see something a little bit more macro-oriented this time around. It's very difficult to do any sort of two barracks proxying on Atlantis Spaceship. It is a very long map. It's a very large map. So we're probably going to see a pretty standard game out of these two players.
And it looks like it's going to be not Nexus. It's going to be Command Center first for
Protoss
TaeJa.
players.
So
thinking everybody's building Nexuses. You know what? Some
So
people
they
don't want to
should.
build Nexuses. All right.
yeah, well, they're going to have mothership cores, all right, in
I don't
Heart
want
of the Swarm.
Dude,
You don't want a mothership core? They're the best thing ever.
Widow
all right?
Mines.
I don't
Mines.
care. All right, mothership core.
Widow, dude.
Widow mines are actually pretty cool.
Widow mines
I'm
are
a
pretty
little,
awesome,
I'm a
actually,
little
yeah.
Widow mine
All
envious.
right. Yeah.
So.
I'll be playing some Terran as well as
Yeah,
some
but
Zerg.
Oracle. So.
Zergs have faster Hydralisks.
Hey, look at this. I think we're going to get 3 hatch before pool for Curious in response to the Command Center first.
Now, against Prime, I believe he did this 2 out of the 3 games he played. So this isn't too surprising. And like I've mentioned before, this is getting more and more popular in Korea. He always follows it up with gas before that. The nice thing with getting gas is that you're already playing really greedy, right? So getting gas before your pool isn't going to make you that much more vulnerable. You're already vulnerable from going 3 hatch before pool. So you might as well get gas, get that Zergling speed out, and then you can kind of be very active around the map looking around for things. And you can also just leave a guy on gas like Curious often does, and then get that a little bit quicker lair, or at least in this case, a lair at a more normal time that way as well. So Curious, I think, is probably the best at playing this style right now that I've seen. And I think it's going to be a treat if you're a Zerg player.
It is. I'm looking forward to it. So
unless TaeJa just stops him,
well,
then it won't be. But it's a cool opening anyway.
Well, TaeJa does see exactly when that spawning pool was coming up, so he knows it was very, very late. Knows that there's going to be the 3rd hatchery out there, so not going to catch him off guard. Factory coming up now, and we are going to see a reactor soon. So reactor Hellions going to be a thing at least for a little bit. With him seeing the 3 hatch build, I would imagine that TaeJa is going to go down the 3 command center build himself. Maybe Banshee's coming out, but certainly an early 3rd.
Oh,
there it is.
Did TaeJa leave 3 on gas, or how many did he leave? Yeah, it looks like it is just 1. No, maybe not.
Wait. Oh, sorry, you said.
I'm sorry, I
Curious.
said TaeJa, but I meant Curious. Okay, yeah, I did
Gotcha.
just leave 1 on gas. That's usually what he does. And so we're probably going to see a lair coming up in the near future after this once he hits around 100 gas or so.
3 queens coming up at the same time, of course, so we can start to get all of those bases saturated up, and his economy will be kicked into high gear very, very soon. TaeJa is putting up a 2nd gas for now, and Starport right next to it, so it looks like it will be a Banshee follow-up.
Yep, now this is very, very typical right now of Terran players that go for that really quick 3 command centers. We're probably going to see him throw down 2 engineering bays really quickly as well. This is a style that Polt has adopted. Marine King is using it quite a bit as well. It seems a little bit unsafe because you're going 3 command centers and a lot of tech, but as we've seen from Curious and a lot of other Zergs, they're also doing this. So it's kind of like, well, if you're being this greedy, I guess I can be this greedy, and it's going to go like that until eventually a player is going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to do an all-in again and start winning, and then the cycle's going to start over again. You know, the greediness level rises until the all-ins start appearing again, and then it drops down, then it starts rising again.
Spoiler alert for GSL.
That's how it is.
Seed. So.
Oh, you just did that.
I did that.
All right, well, that's fine. Banshee's on the way, and it's not going to be Cloak. Usually isn't in this particular case.
No, not at all. But with the 3 orbital commands, TaeJa will be able to saturate his 3 bases very, very quickly, also putting up those double engineering bays as well. So there it is, that style that we were talking about before. I remember when Polt was doing this, before the other players were really starting to popularize it, and he was doing it, it's a pretty great effect, but, you know, it certainly does have some times when Zerg players can take advantage of lack of units.
Oh, man.
But TaeJa's apparently just going to kill a ton of workers.
Oh, yeah, I think he is. He's actually going to kill a good amount, and he's going to get a good amount of Zerglings as well.
Yeah, what a really great position he had there on his Hellions.
Yeah, that was a pretty successful attack. Nice trap there, but does he even have enough? Yeah, he's got barely enough Zerglings to kill off these Hellions.
Yep.
Barely enough Zerglings. But how many workers did he kill? Maybe like 6 or 7 there? 7, yeah,
yep.
Okay.
Pretty
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's up by 7 workers now. He's producing off a 3 orbital command, so his SCV count is going to soar very quickly, adding up to that 4th gas. And there we go, barracks infrastructure, so we can start moving into Marine tank.
Yep, that's right. So now...
Ooh, that was a good catch.
That's not quite as good for the Hellions this time around. Oh, did he see? Okay, now he knows about the Banshee, obviously, but
yeah,
it's going to delay that a little bit. Now, the really cool thing about what TaeJa is doing is that his upgrades are going to outpace or keep on pace with Zerg's upgrades, which is not something that you used to see a whole lot in this matchup. So by doing this, this is going to let him really be aggressive with lots and lots of Marines early on, and just kind of rely on that. He's making 4 more barracks right now. He's not going to get tanks or anything for a little while. Ooh. And it's just a cool style. It lets you just be really aggressive and all over the map and have strong units. I mean, that's about it.
Curious.
Oh,
this is not good for you at all. This is potentially a lot more dead workers here.
This is like a dream come true for TaeJa. He has killed so many drones. 2 more of them at the end.
10 more workers down for just 4 Hellions. Very well done. And the Banshees have racked up a couple of kills as well.
That's right. They're going to be able to come in and continue to harass. Man, things just going really great for TaeJa right now. And this is very uncharacteristic for Curious to let that many drones die to Hellions. I mean, it was a lot more Hellions than you normally see with this type of style. I think he expected that to stop earlier, but you know, still, it's uncharacteristic for Curious to not be able to respond better to this, and he's going to actually lose a queen here as well.
Yeah, he's lost a couple of them now. So TaeJa just continuing to find sweet spots and kill yet more workers. He is on top of his game. And I know TaeJa, it looks like his resources are kind of out of whack, but look, he doesn't have that many units on the field right now. He's investing in all of his upgrades and infrastructure. He just put up a ton more barracks and factories and another command center. So he is just prepared for the really late game now.
Well, when you have 3 command centers saturating your main and your natural that quickly, sometimes the minerals and especially the minerals can like jump up really high on you before you're ready for it. But now that he's moving out with his 3rd command center, he's ready to just go ahead and get that saturated very, very quickly. And as you can see too, he's just putting down a lot more stuff. This is going to help him get his tank production going. He's making another command center behind this. So his money's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, and a couple of workers may go down here, but he's done more than enough damage himself to make up for that. So Curious, kind of in a little bit of a pickle, if I do say, because he has to invest so much back into drones and Zerglings right now. He's trying to bank resources for a ton of Mutalisks, but and his gas is getting up there a little bit, but put some of it back into workers. Not as many as it could have been, though.
Now, did he make a Baneling nest? Does Curious have one at the moment?
So.
I don't think he does, actually. Yeah. Oh, he does have one. Okay. Usually what Zerg players do in response to this is they wait for Terran to take their 3rd, and then they go for like a Zergling Baneling attack at that, because Terran usually doesn't have enough tanks out yet to handle that, and they usually either have to pick up their Marines and sacrifice some stuff at their 3rd, or just kind of let everything die. But because of the damage that was done early on to the drones, Curious wasn't really able to afford all the teching and upgrading that he wanted to do, and drones to replace that, and enough Zerglings to do that type of attack. So all this harassment has really let TaeJa get a very safe 3rd, too.
These Banshees have paid for themselves quite a bit. I mean, look at this. So the Banshee cleans up the Zerglings that are over next to the Selnaga Tower, and that's going to prevent this drop from being scouted until it's really, really close to actually dropping down the units here. So on top of that, these Banshees killed a few workers, 2 queens. This has just all been effective for TaeJa.
Yeah, for sure. He's even got a supply lead right now.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, it's not like he's guaranteed to win this game, because Curious is a ridiculously good Zerg player who can come back against even seemingly unwinnable situations. But TaeJa's looking strong.
Oh, it looks like he's going to lose some medevacs there at the top of the map. The mutas are out right now, and yeah, that does go down.
Yeah, not much damage going to be done there.
Yep.
And this medevac is actually going to drop into the 4th where the Rich Vespian Geyser is, but not too much going to be done here.
Yep, enough Zerglings there that TaeJa picks up immediately. And the upgrades now, see, Curious is about to get a lot more strong. He's about to have 2-2, he's about to have +1 flyer attacks, he's about to have Baneling speed, which is a huge deal. So he's about to be able to be in a better position at this point.
Good heads up by TaeJa there, so he gets a little additional damage done on the Mutas. He's even able to take one out there. Zergling's trying to swing around to the 3rd, but that is a great defensive position for TaeJa sitting up at the moment. Now, Curious does have a lot of resources banked up, and I'll be curious to see what... Oh, God. I'll be interested to see what that goes towards.
Oh, lol. All right, there's 2 Thors on the way as well. How many? Okay, it does have, 2 factories, which is good. You do see Terran players getting their tanks a little bit earlier lately, which I think is good because Zerg, it prevents Zerg from being able to just like make tons and tons of banelings like Curious is trying to do right now, and then just being able to overrun his opponent. This may be enough though. He's got a lot of banelings, man.
That is a fair number. They're all back at home, so they've got a really long way to move out across the map. There is a strong army moving out now, but that's not all the forces of TaeJa. He's got some back at home. He's producing a lot more. He is almost maxed out, and this is a nice position for him, but that's still, like you said, a lot of banelings.
Yep. All right, well, he's going to save this hatchery for now, but he needs to get that nice flank so that he can kill TaeJa's army. Oh, TaeJa sees all the banelings. He may just decide to go home here. No, he's just kind of sticking around. Curious in a pretty good flank. I don't know. Does TaeJa have enough to hold this?
Curious is ready to drop in those units at a moment's notice. We have another 18 banelings coming up, but the hatchery is going to fall, and a couple of mutalisks may go down here as well if Curious isn't watching.
Yep. Well, he tried to attack along with those broodlings to do a little bit of damage to the Marines there, and another drop for TaeJa. Taking out that Spore Crawler. He's going to make a run for it here. But, oh, man, Curious was just in prime position to go after that army, but instead he had to pull back and defend against that drop, and that's going to give TaeJa time to go home. Oh, but will he be able to? The banelings are not done.
Oh, they do just finish up, though. Looks like Curious is going to try and circle back. Look at the target fire in the middle of that, TaeJa. Wow. That is ridiculous.
I will criticize him. He accidentally clicked on one Zergling instead of a Baneling there.
Oh, no.
So, come on, TaeJa, clean it up a little bit. I saw that last one.
Baneling killer master Eric over here. Is that a title? I don't know.
It is now. That was pretty amazing focus firing, though, for TaeJa, no doubt. And here we go.
Oh, that's a lot of clumped up mutalisks. They went down very, very quickly. TaeJa has to target fire out the banelings and does. Keeps almost all of his Marines alive. That is certainly a top 5 play right there. That is ridiculous control from TaeJa.
Yeah, not the best engagement at all from Curious either, attacking in kind of clumps of units and not all at once. That could have gone a lot better for him. And as things are now, he's going to probably just lose his 3rd right now. I don't think that he's going to be able to muster enough to defend against this. TaeJa, though, with only 1 tank, he's going to turn around and play a little bit more safe.
And 1 badly hurt tank at that.
Yeah,
so it's
a better decision. He's even going to pick it up with that medevac, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, he's got...
Yeah, or not. He's just going to let the tank just wander off.
Go tank!
It's like, I want to die. The tank graveyard.
Pick it up now. You can do it.
Which tank is the medevac in? Or which medevac is the tank in? Oh, I messed it up. Why?
It's all right.
Oh.
It's all right. You can try again later.
Maybe someday tanks will have an upgrade where they can carry medevacs.
That's just too scary to think of.
They can, like, pull them down out of the air away from corruptors. That's just a great idea.
Put them on the ground and just call them medics.
And Blizzard's on the phone. They want me on the development tank. They're like, you're brilliant. We want that.
All right. Well, TaeJa going to continue rolling up through the front. He's got a lot of resources banked. He'll be able to reproduce this army very quickly. Taking a look, his barracks infrastructure is good, but not overwhelming. There we go. Starting to build a couple of starports now down at the bottom.
Yep, he's got to get ready for the Broodlords. Curious trying to surround some units and take them out, but he's going to lose a ton of Zerglings as it is, pulling those banelings away at the last moment.
Thor just takes so much damage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so. They definitely can.
Well, allowed the tanks to get in there and fire quite a few of those Zerglings out of there. Curious really wants to hold on to this 4th base finally, though. He's mined out of his main. He's about mined out of his natural. It's getting very, very low there. And because he did three hatch before pool, his 3rd's almost mined out, too.
And here comes Curious. And there goes the drop.
Only 1 unit actually killed there.
Yep.
And TaeJa going to roll through the front now. He's got his tank count back up again. Oh, he's trying to bait those units into place so we can get the tanks up there eventually.
Yeah, also trying to drop on the banelings and things like that. And he does force a fungal of the infestors.
Oh boy. Oh, those tanks, only one of them sieged up for now. Now finally getting in that sweet spot. And this is a good portion of Curious's remaining mining.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is, and he has to run those drones away now. He does have 6 Broodlords on the way and a few more Corruptors, but TaeJa, I believe he already has enough starports that when the time comes, he can just go ahead and make some Vikings after he sacrifices some units. He is maxed out right now, so he can't do it at the moment, but as soon as he catches a hint of Broodlords, he's going to switch over.
And it looks like TaeJa attacking down at this base as well. A few units were swinging out of position to go ahead and go after the attack underneath the 4th, but TaeJa just doing yet more damage. 29 workers killed. He just continues to pick away at his opponent.
The way, okay, he's going to lose some stuff here, but the way that TaeJa's playing, the way that he's multitasking and putting tons of pressure on his opponent right now, look at this, he's kind of showing off with those tanks. Reminds me a lot of Slayer's MMA back when he was at his peak in TVZ.
He got the hatchery kill.
He did. Wow, he actually, what?
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
I can't believe it. If he loses in the next couple of games, it's going to be a tragedy.
A lot of people have been saying that TaeJa's probably the best Terran player in the world right now. I think it may be hard to beat him in all of GSL Codas next season. I think this guy is one of my favorites now to just win the whole season.
He's carrying a Thor with that, too.
That's cute.
That's funny.
Well,
Thor box.
Yeah.
Thor ship.
I mean, we're talking so much about him. Curious is still max. He's still got a powerful army, but he's rebuilding his 4th. He's obviously behind, but he's not out of the game. Again, one more big engagement, or one missed engagement for TaeJa, and Curious is right back in this.
Yeah, that's right. Now, this can be a tough map for Zerg, too. Unless you can get an early lead, it's very difficult to go beyond 3 bases. As you can see, the 4th bases, any base beyond your 3rd base is going to be towards your opponent. That's a rough position to be in. What are those units doing? TaeJa, what the?
I have no idea.
TaeJa, you just want an excuse to make more Vikings, don't you? Bye, Thor.
Yeah, well, Vikings are being added on, so.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like, sweet, mission accomplished.
Killed that Thor. Well, couple
Thor pilot's like, oh no.
And looks like TaeJa going to try and do whatever he can against that amount of banelings, but it's just not enough. But he's swinging in at the same time, but good fungal grows, and Curious pinning down a lot of forces.
Yeah, more Vikings being made as well, but Curious has quite a strong army. A drop coming into the main base right now. TaeJa unloading, and he could go after that spawning pool. In fact, that's exactly what he's going to do.
3-3 Marines can tear through a structure very quickly.
Oh,
pretty good
transfusions. Is he going to save it? Oh, he doesn't save it. So close.
Pretty well done by Curious, though. Yeah. Good effort there. 45 Marines and 11 Vikings right now. 2 Thors being produced as well. That's going to be the majority of the anti-air forces. 3 Thors, actually, at a time now.
May not be the best place to drop there. That medevac is going to die, maybe.
Yep, there it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Curious finally back on his 4th base, also finished up a 5th, but of course, TaeJa is already sitting on 5 bases himself and moving to a 6th now, and there's no Zergling there to go ahead and protect against this, although I did just see a click there from Curious, but I don't know what he's going to be sending over there.
You're curious to see what he's going to be sending over there?
I don't want to hear any of your sass, Captain Sassy Pants. All right.
Son. I don't know what happened there. I just turned into a Jedi for a second. I'm back. +3 carapace on the way for Curious, trying to make those Broodlords as durable as possible. He's going to need it, too, because the Vikings are going to be absolutely hammering that. And how many Corruptors does he have right now? He has a good amount.
Let's see.
Good amount 12. Of Corruptors.
12 right now, 3 more on the way, so he's going to be a total of 15.
This game is far from over.
It's a respectable number, yeah. We thought we were only going to see one 55-minute game, but apparently we're going to see, well, at least 2. TaeJa actually takes some pretty good economic damage, but he's got enough resources banked that he can just turn that into units now, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. 2 more armories on the way, so we can start to focus on more upgrades, both for tech forces, as there is a run by here over to the Planetary Fortress, which isn't quite done now.
Yep, he does kill off pretty much all the SCVs there, I think.
Yeah, actually. Pretty good
most
job.
of them, yeah.
The Planetary Fortress is up now, so it'll be able to hold this.
The Ibex cannon.
Yes.
Very good job.
There it is.
Ibex cannon.
Well, this is a pretty big air fight here, and almost able to pick off one Broodlord there, but the Corruptors just trying to pull things back into range of the Infestors.
This is crucial here. The Thor's actually doing some nice splash damage from the low ground as well. And if Curious loses all these Broodlords, he's going to be in huge trouble.
One fungal growth did land,
oh, nice
but the second one actually hits as well, so the Corruptor's going to do a little bit more damage. More fungals hitting, and TaeJa loses almost all of his Vikings there.
Wow, a lot of the Corruptors going down as well, though, and there is anti-air left where not a lot exists for our Zerg player.
Oh, man. Curious is losing a lot of Broodlords here. This is pretty devastating, but he's actually denying a base at the same time and still finds himself up by about 20 supply. Two Vikings left over now, just one, and the Broodlords are eventually all going to go down.
Yeah, looks that way. Kept a lot of his Infestors alive, too, which is really good to do. And it looks like he's getting ready to go into that planetary down at the bottom. He does have a bunch of Banelings there. Here they go.
All right, Baneling's just going to try and hit the mules, at least denying some mining time there. They're just exploding against Planetary Fortress.
Can he repair through this? He actually can.
He's trying to. Oh, and it's starting to go up, and the Planetary Fortress holds.
Whoops. Yeah, might have been better to chase those units with the Banelings instead.
Yeah.
That hurts. That's actually a lot of resources at a point where Curious really can't afford to waste them.
How many Broodlords are still up? 4 Broodlords, 14 Corruptors, but you know, I'm not sure. Okay, Greater Spire is still up, so more Broodlords are starting to morph in, but this is a pretty crazy game.
Oh, Strike Force of Marines coming down to this space. They could go for that Spire. It's not really that useful, but it's nice to get one of those out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of cool because whenever the first Greater Spire goes down, it's a lot easier to morph one in than spend 200 seconds putting up an entirely new Spire in Greater Spire.
Yep, that's right, and he's killing a lot of these macro hatches as well, so there's going to be less larva for Curious to use. A lot of times in the later games, Zergs don't really concentrate as much in injecting when it gets to this sort of super late game situation, so you need all those hatcheries to stay alive.
And yeah, that's 2 macro hatches down, a third one going to fall here in just a second. Curious does have this base up and defended the little attack that was coming through there as well. But of course, he didn't take out his opponent's Planetary Fortress, and TaeJa is maxed once again. He did go through all of his bank, though.
Yes, he did. Both players a little bit low on minerals, decently high on gas, and on fairly even bases as well, which is not that great for Zerg. In fact, TaeJa a little bit ahead. And
TaeJa just going to continue rolling forward here. And, you know, with all those hatcheries gone, the production from his opponent is hampered. But, yeah, Fungal Growth's pinning down a lot of forces, but they can't kill almost any of them. No! There's a GG! TaeJa wins his second game in a row, and it is currently still StarTale's advantage. They're up 4-3, though.
Wow, so Liquid still one game away from elimination, but